I wanted to use a real-life example for this basic introduction to the PsycINFO database. Recently, I was helping a psychology student in the library who needed to find empirical studies that looked at the academic performance of people who had suffered a disturbed childhood. So the first tip I will give you when you're approaching a database is don't type in questions or sentences. And this applies to all databases, not just PsycINFO. Databases don't respond well to natural language, so you want to break your topic down into the most important ideas or concepts and divide those ideas up into the different search boxes. The first thing I do is look at my result list. Only getting 2 results tells me that I probably didn't pick the right words here. Now, there's a lot of places or things you can do to get more ideas for words. The first thing I usually do is look at the subject tags that are attached under each of the articles in the result list. If I find an article that looks like it might be related to what I'm after, and I don't see my search words in the subject tags, I can usually find better words or additional words that I can use to search. So I don't see disturbed childhood, but childhood adversity is here. And that's a pretty good match to that concept. I'm putting quotations around it because that tells PsycINFO that I want to find those 2 words together, like a phrase. So we're up to 38, which is much better, but I still think there's probably more, so maybe this isn't the ideal word either. So again, if we do the same thing, we'll notice that academic performance isn't here, but academic achievement is. So again, I'm just going to add that in. Now, you can keep your words as well. You'll notice that this author uses the phrase academic performance, so maybe that also is in the literature, so you still want to pick that up. So you can use the word or to separate words or phrases that kind of represent the same thing. So then the database is looking for articles that has either of these options. It doesn't have to have both. So now we're up to 71. We could certainly expand this out as well, but for the sake of brevity in the video, let's move on. So now we want to make sure that our article fits the criteria of whatever our assignment is about. And that's usually when the refine results options in the left column come into play. There's a lot of filters here, but 3 that I see most commonly when I see psychology assignments for classes is number 1, peer-reviewed. So you already know the value of limiting to peer-reviewed articles. The second is the date slider. So most assignments will tell you that you can only use articles published within the last 5 years or 10 years or within a certain time frame. So that's where you make that change. And then the final filter I want to show you is under methodology. So here's where you find that magical empirical study filter. There's a lot of ways to find psychology peer-reviewed articles, but PsycINFO is the only search tool that gives you that particular filter, which is very useful. So now we're down to 41. Now at this point, often students ask me, okay, well, how do I know which ones to pick from this list? Well, first you want to make sure that it's actually about whatever it is you're interested in. So you can read the title, sometimes that tells you. If you can't tell from that, if you click on the magnifying glass with a piece of paper, you can get the beginnings of the abstract, which is a brief introduction of what the article is about. If that beginning of the abstract isn't enough, you can click on the title of the article, and here you can read the abstract in its entirety. That should give you a good idea of whether it's going to be about your assignment topic or not. While we're on this page, I just want to also point out, you'll see a permalink option here, which generates a stable URL back to the article. The cite option will give you an APA citation or any other citation style for the article. and then email. I usually recommend students just email to themselves because the APA citation will automatically be included as well as a permalink back to the article. So if you've gone through the abstracts and you are still left with a lot of articles and you're not sure how to narrow things down, another criteria you might want to look at is time cited in the database. Not all articles will have this information, but if you see articles that have been cited by other people, that means that other researchers are citing it in their research, and the higher the number, the more articles that it's been cited in. So if you find an article that's been cited quite a bit, that tells you that there's some important or meaningful information that other researchers are looking for. So I'm just throwing articles into a folder here, and I'll explain to you a little bit later what that is about. So how do you actually get to the full text? You'll see a few different options under the different articles. Where can I get this means that PsycINFO does not have it full text, but if you click on that link, it does a search to see if we have it full text in any other of our other databases, and in this case we do, so you can just read it full text there. The other two options are PDF full text, so it is full text in PsycINFO, and if you click on the PDF, it just shows you like a photocopy of what you'd see in the print journal if it's still available in print. You'll notice here you've got your email and your citation and your permalink options still on the right. And then your other option is that you may see is HTML. So that's just a reproduction of the text and any other graphs or other images that are in it. And you'll see your options again on the right-hand side. The only difference with the HTML is you have the option to listen to it in audio, and there's often a translate option as well if you want it translated into a different language. I'm going to go back to the result list. If you do a where can I get this and nothing shows up, you will see an option to interlibrary loan. We can usually have it emailed to you within a few days. So if you see the perfect article, don't let that where can I get this stop you. Just go ahead and log in with your KPU login and we can get the article for you. All right, so I mentioned the folder. If you've been saving multiple articles to look at later, before you leave PsycINFO, just click on that folder option, and then you have the option to email to yourself. So you can individually select or select all the articles you've been saving, and then when you go to the email, you'll see that APA citation is the default. Again, always double check, but that will save you some time. The other option I usually recommend students do is select the brief citation and abstract option here, especially if you're emailing a lot of articles to yourself. You can sometimes forget from the title what they were about, so that abstract or that brief description of the article will be included in the email, so you don't have to jump back to the database to read the full text to remind yourself. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say at this point. The only thing that I want to leave you with is please get some help if you're struggling with this. You will see our chat box is available in the column on the right-hand side. When it's closed, there's a link back to our Ask Us page, so you can contact the KPU librarians in other ways. That's it for this quick introduction to PsycINFO. I hope you enjoy your psychology class, and I hope this was helpful. Good luck with your searching.